For centuries, the British Crown has projected an image of stability, duty, but behind the golden facade, a silent storm has been brewing, one that now threatens to rip apart not just the royal family, but the very soul of them all. It began with whispers of a secret will, a document allegedly rewritten in the final days of the late monarch's frail health, said to contain explosive provisions that would shift both fortune and power in directions no one had anticipated. The existence of this clandestine will was never publicly acknowledged. Officially, the crown transitioned smoothly, the heir ascended, and the nation moved. But deep within Buckingham Palace, locked behind reinforced doors, the document lay, a ticking time bomb waiting for the right hands to. Those hands belonged not to a royal, but to a figure few had seen coming, a woman known only as Evelyn Clair, a former royal financial advisor turned whistleblower, who vanished from the public eye 5 years ago amid rumors of blackmail. And now, she had returned, not with accusations, but with evidence. Her dossier, leaked anonymously to a European intelligence network, detailed a web of influence surrounding the monarchy, shadowy billionaires, foreign conglomerates, and private lobbying firms who had, over the years, woven their tendrils deep into the crowns. The will was their keystone. According to the leaked extracts, the monarch's private fortune was to be divided not solely among heirs, but to seed a secret trust controlled by these external forces, an entity framed as a philanthropic foundation for the future, yet structured to give them long-term control over royal assets, influence over appointments, and even veto power over certain stating. Evelyn's reappearance sent a shiver through the corridors of power. The hidden cabal, who had operated in comfortable secrecy, suddenly found themselves. They had invested decades in cultivating alliances, through charitable fronts, discreet financial bailouts, and carefully timed favors to see. But Evelyn had one weapon they hadn't anticipated, a conscience sharpened by exile and a copy of the original will, untouched, unedited, and devastating in its implication. Her first strike was surgical. In a late-night broadcast streamed from an undisclosed location, she unveiled selected clauses of the will to the public, references to guardians of legacy, coded instructions for wealth transfer to offshore accounts, and a chilling clause granting external trustees oversight on certain royal engagements for the next 20 years. The nation gasped. Who were these trustees? Why had the palace never spoken of them? The morning after, every major newspaper carried the story, but curiously, several editions were pulled and replaced before dawn, a sign, analysts said, that the hidden hands were moving quickly to contain the. Yet Evelyn was not finished. Her next move was to reach out to a royal most underestimated by the cabal, Prince Edward, often seen as the quiet, ceremonial figure of the family. But behind closed doors, Edward had long harbored doubts about the palace's new modernization agenda and its unexplained dependency on external financiers. Evelyn handed him the full dossier, the original will, and a stark ultimatum: expose them now, or your family's crown will be theirs in 5 years. What followed was nothing short of a shadow war. Invitations to key events were revoked overnight, phone lines were tapped, and Edward found himself under discreet surveillance by security consultants hired by the very network Evelyn had. Leaked audio later revealed an intercepted conversation where one shadow operator sneered, "If Edward talks, he'll fall. The will is ours to shape, not his to protect." But Edward did not fall. In a bold and almost reckless move, he arranged a private audience with the Archbishop of Canterbury and placed the original will in ecclesiastical custody, shielded by ancient church laws that even the Crown's lawyers would struggle. At the same time, Evelyn released Phase 2, financial trails. Wire transfers, shell companies, and coded communications linking prominent oligarchs and media magnates to royal philanthropic initiatives now looked like channels for influence peddling. Public opinion turned from confusion to fury. Who truly ruled Britain, the monarch, or the money behind the curtain? The climax came during the annual State Council, where for the first time in modern history, a senior royal openly questioned the direction of the crown in front of government men. Edward's words were measured but electric: "Our legacy cannot be mortgaged to unseen benefits. The monarchy belongs to the people, not to those who purchase its reflection." The room cameras were not permitted, but transcripts leaked within the hour. The cabal struck back. Media smears, old scandals resurrected, whispers about Edward's loyalty to the. But the tide had shifted. The public, fueled by Evelyn's revelations and the scent of treachery, petitions flooded Parliament. Security around key royals tightened as fears of leaks, or worse, disappearances. In the chaos, one final twist emerged, a hidden clause in the secret will, one Evelyn had kept. It named a protector of the realm in the event of external interference, granting them temporary control over certain assets and communications. The name was shocking. It was not a politician, not a royal, but a retired intelligence chief long believed to have been. That man, upon seeing his name resurface, quietly reactivated a network of loyal operatives and began freezing suspicious accounts linked to the Cabal. It was the first real counterstrike from inside the system. And so, the invisible war rages, no declarations, no public battles, but encrypted commands, financial seizures, and secret meetings in candlelit rooms. The monarchy smiles for cameras, the public debates gowns and galas, but beneath it all, the throne hangs in the balance, its fate written not in bloodlines, but in hidden clauses, old debts, and a whistleblower's daring return from the Whether Evelyn St. Clair survives long enough to finish what she started remains uncertain. But one thing is clear, the days when the crown could hide behind ceremony. The Nichukbi mat has been cracked open, and the kingdom will never look at its rulers, or their invisible masters, the same.